every day as I practiced meditation. That's why I'm trying to keep up. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So you have been meditating now since 1 year.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, 1 year.
Super, super. And you're joining from Cairo, right?
Yes, yes.
Nice, nice. Very nice. Nice to have someone also from that part of the world connecting to the group.
Yeah, I know you were here before. One of my friends, a common friend, told me that you used to live here.
Yes, we used to live in the beautiful Cairo. Yes, beautiful Egypt. True, true, true. So tell a bit more. Tell a bit more. What are your experiences that you have been meditating since a year, or you have been practicing and hearing?
Well, what I felt, because I'm a filmmaker, and actually I was making my film when I started meditating, and it made a huge difference in my work, because I became much calmer when I was shooting, and and uh, and how the film turned out at the end was much better than all of my previous work. uh, and I felt inside that it was because of meditating, because I was meditating every day before shooting. uh, and I was really very calm when I was dealing with actors. يعني at the time مش عارفة يعني I felt the difference as I was going. um, and I could see it very clearly when I was just editing what I shot, that it was totally different than what I used to do. It was more me, yeah. It was more my. Uh, I was just like being more myself.
That's wonderful. How the outer manifestations become more beautiful, right? With meditation. And what else
Yes.
did you find as inner changes? So your outer manifestations had become more perfect, more beautiful, yeah. And did you find any changes from within?
Well, what I felt within is that I have a distance with what's happening around me. Always, yani whatever my reaction to what's happening, um, it's not the same as before. Yani I feel that there's yani even when I get a little bit stressed or nervous, uh, I can have the distance to just pause and see why I'm doing this or where it comes from. Um, I felt this distance came from the ritual of sitting down every day for an hour. It keeps me more grounded, I think.
Beautiful. So the next thing comes like good that you see good in and around you, and how much are you spreading this good outside you?
How much?
Are you
Yeah.
sharing the beauty of meditation? Or how do you see that this is something need to be shared?
Yeah, of course it needs to be shared, but I don't know. I don't think I share it directly. But I tell some people about it, but not يعني I speak about it actually. The people around me, the people who respond to it, are certain people. Um, um, I don't think يعني I think I'm sharing being a better version more than I'm sharing the uh, talking about meditation.
Wonderful. Well said. So you're already doing it when you said for the people who are ready, you are there to share. So that is very much needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful to hear that. I mean, thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming forward and sharing your experience. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ram.
Thank you. Shall we start the session? Yes. Okay. So, friends, see how life changes. Everyone we touch, we only get inspired. Just like this master from Cairo who was sharing the experience. So, let us start our journey today. Cross your legs, kindly take off your glasses. If you are wearing anything that is too tight on you, it could be a wristwatch, kindly remove that. Clasp your hands and close your eyes. The journey of meditation is going nowhere. The learning in the process of meditation is the unlearning. And this journey of non travel and this journey of unlearning happens with non thinking, better, non interference with the thoughts. It is not that we stop thinking, because that is what mind does. What we can do is not interfering the thoughts. It's an act of non interference. It's an art of non interference. Thought is not yours. What is not yours, do not interfere. It is of the mind, it is of the society, it is of external, it is not of real you essence. The essence of real you is peace, is clarity, is joy. And we cannot experience them, rather, our real self, when we interfere with something that we are really not, which are our thoughts. When we stop interfering with our thought, and the thought notices that there is no any audience there, they slowly disappear. It's a practice of non interference. Do not interfere even in your thoughts, even with your thoughts. As we master that art, we are with our real self, with our true self in meditation. Every time We do not interfere with our thoughts. We become aware of our essence of our life, the normal, natural breath. It's so very wonderful. That which is within each one of us. Always practice the non interference with your thoughts. And be with your breath. Last 2 minutes, friends. These wonderfully connected states. Let us be grateful, grateful to our parents, to our siblings, to each and everyone in our lives. Grateful to the nature, grateful to all the masters who have joined the session today. Grateful to yourself for choosing to be here. Slowly bring back your awareness to your surroundings and to your physical body. Last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly place your hands over your eyes for a few seconds. When you're ready, you may open your eyes and take off your hands. Welcome back, friends. Have some water. When you are ready and would like to share your experience, kindly unmute yourself and please do so. Or if you have any question, please go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, Ram. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Meenaji.
Yeah, the music is so beautiful. For all the meditations, I think flute, I resonate well with the flute. Maybe because of its frequency. I don't know. My meditations will be deep with flute. Well, it depends on the music, your meditation. Anyway, for few minutes after listening to the music, we go into deep meditation, so we don't hear anything surrounding. But
Mm.
initial of that, with the music, it takes me into deep inside.
Mhm.
Um, I have a question coming in mind to ask you.
Yes, please.
Why we are sometimes I get a question like, is our thoughts more stronger or our mind? Because you know what happens is, if we are addicted to something, anything, any habit or something we know that is bad, but still we try to be, if it's me, I know that's bad, I'll take it as that's bad. For 6 months I will stay on it so strong, but after 6 months I'll give up. I couldn't hold that and go, I'll go back, revert back again. Why is it like that? What's happening with the thoughts and mind here? I still don't get why we do that. When I hold it that for 6 months, why would I go back again? I
So
don't have
you
yeah.
you mean you have some thoughts that persist always?
No, suppose for example, I don't want to eat sweets. I'll hold that for 6 months. I'm not going to eat. It's not good for my health. I have so many issues with health. I don't want to eat. I'll hold that for 6 months, not eating. I'll try, but one day I'll give up and go and eat. That's an example of. So why is that my thought telling me that go and have, or is my mind not that strong that I couldn't conquer that addictive habit? Why is
Mhm.
it happening like that?
Okay, so I think it all depends on our intention in things that we are doing. Is it something deep from inside, or is it something that we take from outside? Something from outside that we got convinced we can stick it for some time, but maybe sooner or later we give up. So the stronger you have something which is a deep calling or an intention, I would call it, from within yourself, you would not be, you would stick to it. And even if you break, you don't feel bad about it. It's just, uh, you know, it's just okay, because you know you're going back stronger again to what you wish to have, or to that thing that you have started. So I think it's all about how strongly you have that intent and desire from within yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
And sometimes it is also good to practice these things, um, because it reinforces our willpower. For example, fasting,
Yeah.
one full day fasting, not eating anything, once a month, once a week, once whatever you decide for yourself, being in silence, yeah, for one full day. So all these things will develop the willpower within ourselves. So as we grow stronger in our willpower, then I think we also grow stronger on things that we decide for ourselves, which are good, and we stick to them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ram.
Anyone else, friends? Yes, Sahir.
Hello, Ram.
Hi, friend. Yes.
Um, First, I want to thank you and thank Mina G for raising this issue because it's been a while since I wanted to ask a question like this and it's answered already. Yes.
Mm.
So thank both of you. Um, the meditation was very beautiful today. Yes, like Miniji said, the music has a good part deep in the meditation, but your guidance is always amazing. It's like make me slipping into another world. Like I get into the alpha state easily while you are talking. Let me ask you a question about this, please. Do you prepare a script or something before you start your meditation, or just follow your intuition?
I had my closed eyes, and I just flow with what comes.
Wow, wow. I thought it's a written script and prepared because it's very organized in getting us into the deep state. So thank you so much, Raman. This amazing talent
Now I'm
or
also
or
discovering
gift.
myself with every meditation session. It is not that, you know, I'm discovering myself. I think that's the right statement I can say.
And you make us discover ourselves as well.
Mm.
Yes. And you succeeded in it long time ago. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ram, and thanks to Madhu as well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sahir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Nalini ji.
Hi, Rameshji. I had a lovely experience as well, like this gentleman before me. About halfway after your music started, and then I was seeing this tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
three tunnels going round and round, and then merged into one, and then it sort of expanded. So it was occupying my whole vision, like. And I was asking myself, come on, just stay there, and I want to come out of this. And then I must have that will to just come out. And then I there was mist, complete mist like atmosphere. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, now where am I? Where have I come? So I asked my sort of super soul that, why have you brought me here?
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, there was nothing much. But then on the right hand side of the picture, because now the whole picture was mist, like, floating mist. And then I saw this pillar kind of a thing moving. And I was sort of in a lift going down, down, down. And I saw Lord Shiva's picture on that, going down, 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 down. And then I lost it for a little while. And I thought, oh, okay, that's it. And then, suddenly again, it was coming up, that same picture going up on the pillar. And I was wondering if it's the same pillar that when he was testing Lord Narayana and Lord Brahma, how long it is. I wonder if that was the vision, or what was it, just my imagination? I don't know. But then he also gave me like this was formless, but that then another form with a form sitting again with his trishur, and it wasn't that clear, but I knew that the form was there. So this was my experience today.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm sort of quite elated actually, and then it dissolved. The whole picture sort of dissolved, and I was back with your music, and I think that music is amazing. It just also reminds me of the damru.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when the tabla, only the tabla is playing, then I think, that's like a damru. Maybe that linked me to Lord Shiva.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I thought
Be-
I'll share it with you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Very happy hearing your experience. Thank you for sharing, Nalini.
Thank you for your music as well and your voice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else, friends? Okay. So we move to the next part. So over to Madhu, and we will hear the untold story of Sita. Madhu, can you please take over?
Hello, friends. So I want you all to close your eyes while I'm reading this. Soma relates Sita's journey into Lanka. One evening, a few days later, as Sita was preparing the night meal, she overheard Lakshman ask Sri Ram if he noticed the wonderful fragrance in the air that evening. Sri Ram shook his head. He had not noticed anything unusual. Lakshman continued to muse with a smile. I wonder which unknown flower is emitting that beautiful smell. Mata nearly dropped the pot she was holding when she realized that the fragrance had now entered the area around their hut. She had no time to think of a response because just then she heard a female voice. Mata listened as the woman who had entered their garden introduced herself. I am Maya, daughter of a great sage who is not known in these parts. My father and I are visiting one of the hermitages. And hearing that two hermits are living here alone, I have brought you food that I have cooked with my own hands. Lakshman welcomed her. He told her that dinner was being prepared and she was most welcome to join them. Mata peered out from the kitchen area and caught sight of the young, beautiful woman who had entered. The fragrance that she had come to abhor trailing along, overpowering all the other scents. Even at this distance, she could feel the magnetism that emanated from that woman and immediately knew her to be the demoness of whom Chandrika had spoken. When she saw Lakshman accept the pot of food from her, Mata rushed out and immediately took the pot from him. Maya looked at her wryly and said in a sarcastic tone, I don't know, you had a servant with you? I had heard two hermit warriors were living in these woods. Nobody mentioned a servant. Sriram stiffened and replied in a cool tone, let me introduce you to my wife Sita. You may join us if she has no objection. Mata nodded her assent and then returned to the kitchen. Her heart was pounding and she was unsure of what to do. What trouble was this woman stirring? What if it were Lakshman she was after, or her husband? That could not be, she reasoned. She remembered her response to Chandrika when asked what she would do if the demoness twisted her husband's mind. Mata shook this thought away. It could never be, she silently affirmed to herself. She had no reason to believe that this woman was going to trouble them. But what to do with the food she had brought? Already the meal for the evening was prepared. Instinctively, she threw out the food behind a nearby tree and after washing the pot, filled it with food she had prepared. It was already dark, and the faded light from the fire was not bright enough for the woman to see that she had replaced her gift of food. Mata returned to where the others sat and dished out the food. Lakshman and Sriram hungrily ate it all, thanking the woman profusely for the delicious meal. Taking second and third helpings, they easily finished all the food in the pot. Neither Mata nor Maya touched the food. They simply watched as the men ate. Maya watched them intently, chatting all the while. At first, she inched closer to Sri Ram, but when Sri Ram rose and seated himself on the other side of Mata, she began to approach Lakshman. Not suspecting any dangerous event, he readily responded to her conversation and flirtations. But eventually he grew tired of the conversation and suggested it was time for all of them to retire. Maya looked at Lakshman and then Sri Ram. They had eaten all of her food and there was no effect. Suddenly she looked at Mata, who was smiling knowingly at her. You replaced the food I brought, didn't you? She asked accusingly, her voice rising. Is this how you treat a guest who has brought you food? Mata asked in a stern voice, who are you really, and what have you come for? When Mata spoke these words, Sri Ram realized that this woman was the one causing disturbances at the hermitages. She was the one responsible for the young ascetic's death, for Chandrika's sorrow. What do you want here in this forest? Asked Mata. We will not be fooled or beguiled by you. The woman's face turned red with anger. At that moment, Mata saw her true form and she cried out, Surpanakha. She had never seen Ravana's sister, but somehow she knew the woman to be her. I will teach you to disrespect me, you farmer girl. Surpanakha lunged at Mata, her hands circling Mata's neck as Mata gasped for air. Sriram tried to reach Mata, but before he could free her, Lakshman grabbed his knife and threw it at the woman, badly disfiguring her face. She let out a blood-curdling scream. With blood pouring down her sliced nose, she cursed them and ran off before they fully realized what had happened. Her parting words as she pointed her bloodied finger at Lakshman. And you will suffer a most painful death, reverberated through the air. They were all agitated by what had taken place. Who is that woman? Lakshman asked when he regained his bearing. The sister of Ravana, whispered Mata as Sri Ram sat her down and began massaging her neck. Surpanaka's fingers had left deep marks, and she felt sore and depleted. This will not be the last of her, I fear. She was the one who lured away Chandrika's husband, the man you found dead in the river, and how many more she has killed that way, we can only guess. I know, he replied. Her arrival is a warning. We will soon face Ravana. It is inevitable now. He will not accept the wounding of his sister without a response. I am sorry about her disfigurement, Mata said. It was something that I foresaw. Mata then told Sri Ram and Lakshman about her experience a few days earlier when during meditation she found herself seated beside Chandrika, comforting her after she learned of her husband's untimely death. I told her that the law of cause and effect will bring to the woman who deceived her husband the fruits of her actions. She added, looking at Lakshman. But if that is true, then what we have just done will also bring the fruits. Tears came into Mata's eyes, and in her mind, she resolved that she would never let anything happen to Lakshman. After all, what he had done was for the purpose of defending her. It is I who am responsible, replied Lakshman. I threw the knife that wounded her, and I will gladly take responsibility for protecting you, no matter what price I have to pay. Sri Ram tried to calm them both. Whatever comes from this series of events will be borne by all of us. There was no choice but to protect you, Sita. Lakshman did what he needed to do, and what you saw that day with Chandrika was merely the outcome of Surpanaka's deeds, just as the poor man's death was the outcome of his deeds. It is true that it is a great offense to harm an unarmed woman, said Sri Ram soberly. Even a demoness, even one who has committed such atrocities. But we have had to kill and maim women demons before, and we have had to pay the price. So we will, this time as well. She was not unarmed, Ram, replied Mata. Her delusionary powers were her weapons. This was a just battle. Sri Ram nodded. Now we must brace ourselves for what lies ahead. Lakshman continued to look troubled, and Sri Ram sought to allay his concerns. You did what you needed to do, Lakshman. Had you not intervened, Sita could have been seriously hurt or worse. It all happened so quickly. Lakshman, you and I were not alert. Only Sita saw the danger that this woman posed and exchanged the food she had brought us for her own cooking. As soon as I tasted the food, I recognized that it was Sita's. You must be even more attentive now because the negative forces have come right into our midst. They are among us. The next morning, when Mata went to the kitchen to prepare the morning meal, she found 3 dead birds on the ground in the spot where she had poured out Surpanaka's food. Lifting the birds, she spoke to them in a sorrowful tone. I am so sorry. I should never have poured that poisonous food where you could reach it. Sriram found her there, mourning over the dead birds. This is what would have become of us had we eaten her food. I never should have poured the food here, where the birds could eat it. He placed his arm around her. This is no time to mourn, Sita. Before this is over, many will die. A few days later, they were seated around the fire, eating the evening meal, discussing the inevitability of soon encountering Ravana. We should not wait. We can't just sit here. Now is the time to attack before he attacks us, said Lakshman impatiently. Lakshman, what I said before still holds true. We cannot attack him without just cause. He sent his sister here to poison us. Is that not just cause? How do we know he was behind her actions? Do we have evidence of that? And we defended ourselves against her, wounding her badly. It is not in our hands. It is not our place to attack him, replied Sriram. Then what do we do? Just sit here and wait? There was anger in Lakshman's voice. He was always the one to rush into action. Sriram was the one to see the larger picture and to know the right moment. Like an echo in the wind, Sita's voice entered the conversation. It won't be long now. She had been sitting quietly listening to their discussion. When suddenly the words came out of her mouth, Sriram and Lakshman turned to look at her. How do you know that? Lakshman asked. Sita rose from her seat and turned away so they wouldn't see the concern on her face. I feel it. I feel his presence approaching. She looked up at the sky. The winds have changed course. The flocks of birds are in confusion as to which way to fly. The small forest creatures are not visiting our garden. They are in hiding. The rivers are rushing with unnatural speed. Fear has enveloped the whole region. Don't you see the signs, Lakshman? The signs of his approach? Isn't that reason enough for us to attack? No, Lakshman, replied Sita, her face still turned away. We must wait. The cause will come for which an attack is justified. It is not just Ravana that we will face, but all of the negative forces that he is gathering round to disrupt the progress of Earth and her creatures. These all must be countered, and it will exact a great toll. No, Lakshman, we must wait for a just cause. Ram is right, so right. As Mata finished speaking, an image passed briefly through her mind, the image of a celestial being who greatly loved Narayan, the supreme deity who had incarnated on earth as her beloved Ram, and Narayani, Sita herself, his female counterpart and equal. She saw this devotee of great repute fall away from them, fall into a great abyss. She reached out her arms but couldn't stop him. He kept falling. A quiet gasp escaped her lips as this image crossed her mind. Lakshman did not notice, but nothing escaped Sri Ram. The same image had come into his mind, but it also had quickly vanished. They glanced at each other in astonishment, but said nothing. In order to dismiss the thought, she began clearing the remains of the meal. Sri Ram followed her into the kitchen area. Neither of them spoke for quite some time as Sri Ram helped Mata wash and put away the cooking utensils. Mata was the first to break the silence. I have met Ravana, she spoke calmly as she looked into Sri Ram's eyes. He had come to claim Mahadev's bow from my father, and I saw the way my father dealt with him. Clever as Ravana is, my father outwitted him at every turn, and he did not get what he sought. This angered him greatly. Before he left Mithila, he told my father he would pay a heavy price for refusing him what was his due. My father looked at him calmly and replied, Ravana, you will get your just due in time. In time. I had not thought about this incident in a long while, but now his words have come back to me. That was many years ago, replied Sri Ram gently. He has grown very powerful since then, and from what we have heard and seen, he has mastered the deceptive arts. He can enter people's minds and twist their thinking, making them do horrendous acts. There is perhaps no one more dangerous. I myself am unsure as to how we can deal with him, but deal with him we must, or he will set the world on fire to achieve his ends. I am afraid the time is approaching. My father was insistent that I be with him during all his conversations with Ravana. Even though I was merely a child, I have wondered about that. My father never did anything without a reason. A tender expression crept over his face. Sita, you were your father's support, his source of strength. You gave him the power to be who he is, just as you do for me. Mata had grown serious at the memory of her father's exchange with Ravana. But at these words of Sri Ram, a loving smile crossed her face. The remembrance of her father always brought her joy, as did the expression of Sri Ram's love. How fortunate she was to have these two men in her life. After Sri Ram went to sleep, she crept out of the hut and sat under the night sky, recalling again how her father had kept her by his side during his encounter with Ravana, which had begun in a friendly tone but had turned threatening after Janak refused him the bow. Rather than being frightened, she had felt indignant at the way he had treated her father. She had never heard anyone speak so disrespectfully to him. Later, her father told her that in the end Ravana would have to pay a price for his arrogance. He explained that he didn't care how Ravana spoke to him, but it was the arrogance he showed towards the forces of nature, to the gods, who Ravana claimed would one day bow down to him. Mahadev had granted him many boons for his long years of astadris, but there is always a danger in the receiving of boons. If they are misused, one's downfall is inevitable. Surely, Ravana must have been a great one in the past, her father had said, but greatness can lead to pride, which has grave repercussions. Why had her father kept her by his side to witness this? She wondered. Everything her father did had some deeper purpose, a hidden meaning. She had seen Ravana walk away defeated by her father, angry and flustered. But as Sriram had said, that was long ago, and he had far more power now. If she were to face him, would she be able to prevail against him as a father once had? After some time, Mata went back inside the hut and fell asleep. Just before dawn, she had a dream of Janak Baba standing by her. He said, "You have the inner strength and the knowledge to do what must be done. You will succeed." She awoke pondering these words. As the first rays of dawn peered through the window, she felt her daughter Godavari calling to her. Not wanting to disturb Sri Ram, she made her way to the river bank. The Devi emerged from the river and seated herself beside Mata. "You know, Mata, that you must face him, and you must face him alone. You are the only one who can awaken in him the love that is buried deep inside him, covered by hurt and pain and by his deceits. But this cannot happen without your consent." "My consent is there. I give it," she whispered. The consent to meet him. Yes, she would do that. To reason with him, use her mental acuity and her spiritual skills, the sacred mantras she had learned. She would do all of that. "No, Mata, it is not that which is required." "Then what?" "You must enter the heart of the Asura kingdom. It will test all of your skills and your will. Only there can you relieve Vasundharama, Mother Earth, of the pain she is suffering. Only in this way can you free us from his demonic rule." The Devi, overcome with sorrow, slipped back into the rushing waves, her heart breaking for Mata, who was soon to be tested in such a difficult manner. Scenes of a terrifying battle came to Mata's mind, and she realized what lay ahead of Sri Ram. Her chest pounded and tears cascaded over her cheeks. Then she heard the calm voice of Sri Ram calling her name as he approached. Quickly drying her tears, she tried to assume a more composed countenance. "Sita, you should not have come here alone, not now, at this time when danger is near." He took her hand and asked, "What is it that has made you so upset?" Still, she didn't respond. Finally, she replied in a hoarse voice, "If we should be separated, I don't want you to fear what might happen to me." The look on his face grew grave. "I know that you are capable of taking care of yourself, Sita. I know that you have access to all the spiritual resources you might need in any situation, but I..." She placed her fingers over his mouth. Gazing deep into his eyes, she said, "We cannot be separated, for we are now is one. Isn't that so?" He feigned a smile. He looked her hand. He took her hand and held it tightly as the both turned their eyes to their daughter Godavari. She was calm now. Her waves had ceased. She was happy to see their unity. Before they got up to return to their hut, Sri Ram took some water in his hand and said to Mata, "We should not allow fear to enter us. With your daughter Godavari as my witness, I affirm that you are the star that guides my life. No matter what happens, I will always find my way back to you. There is no force in the universe that can keep me away or that can overpower you, Sita. For it is your love that sustains not only me, but all of the universes." With those words, he closed his eyes, whispered a mantra, and then sprinkled the water into the greater body of the Godavari river. Mata did the same, saying, "And you are the calm that stills my tears, that heals the pain I feel for the world. In your eyes, I find again my true self." Godavari Devi received the water they had sprinkled over her, and with the words, "So it is," she disappeared into the depth of the gently flowing waters. Mata had given her consent, and so events began to unfold. The next morning, dark, threatening clouds cast their shadows over the land. The birds were all in flight. It was not the season for rain. "Another storm is brewing," said Mata, looking up at the sky. "But it is not the season. This is the third storm we have had in 10 days' time. Nature has been thrown in confusion. She could not shake off her concern. Sri Ram did his best to cheer Mata. He himself was not in the best of spirits as he could feel the negative forces surrounding them. But he did what he could to amuse her. At one point, he looked up and saw a golden deer peering at them from a distance. Look there, Sita, he said. A golden deer, like we used to see in Mithila. We have not seen one like that since we left Mithila so many years ago. Where is it? Asked Mata, looking in all directions. Straight ahead. Can you not see it peering through the leafy branches? Mata shook her head. Are you sure it is real? Look, there it goes. I don't see it, Ram. I will catch it for you. It will bring you much joy to have that deer as a pet. As he grabbed his bow and started after the deer, a wave of fear came over Sita. She tried to call out to him, but no sound emerged. She tried to run after him, but her feet would not move. Lakshman came out of the hut. Seeing the distressed look on her face, he asked what was wrong. Her voice returned, and her feet were now able to move. But Sriram was nowhere in sight. She told Lakshman where Sriram had gone. Don't worry, he will return soon, he comforted her. When he didn't return, she grew nervous, and then she and Lakshman heard his voice cry out to them as if he were in pain. Both Mata and Lakshman were greatly unsettled, but Mata thought it might be a demon imitating his voice. Lakshman didn't know whether to stay or go check on Sriram. Finally, Mata said he should go. Reluctantly, he left her, pleading with her not to leave the hut. She thought that she should accompany him and not stay alone, but her feet would not budge and her voice fell mute. She retreated into the hut. From the open doorway, she saw him approaching. It was Ravana, disguised as an ascetic begging for food. Mata had never refused food to anyone, and it was not within the realm of possibility for her to refuse him now. This was the being who had once gravely insulted her father. She would have to confront him alone, as her daughter Godavari had foreseen. At that moment, Mata realized that this confrontation would be far more than a conversation. She would have to enter the very entrails of his demon kingdom and his demon mind if she had any hope for a positive result. As she slowly stepped forth from the hut with a bowl of fruits in hand, she knew she was stepping into the darkness that he inhabited. She thought she was ready, but when he grabbed her by the wrist, she cried out in agony. She cried out Ram's name, but at Ravana's touch, the link was broken, and she could no longer reach her beloved Ram. She was now in Ravana's field, far from Ram's reach. This was something that she could not have known beforehand. She did not realize that the golden threads that wove them together and which allowed instant communication between them would be broken. Mata was now beyond the reach of her beloved husband or brother in law, far from the assistance of any creature. Soma ended her narrative as the tears poured down her face. She opened her eyes and wiped them, apologizing. I can never tell this part of the story without weeping, she exclaimed. The pain that Mata went through still pierces me so many years later. Both my mother and I were also teary eyed. As we all sought to gain control of our emotions, my mother began to express her gratitude for sharing this story. I'm sure you need some rest, Soma. I know that I do. I must have time to absorb what you have told us. Soma nodded. Will you stay for the evening meal? I can fix it for you now. We must get back to the hermitage. They will be expecting us. But we will come again tomorrow if you will receive us. I'm happy to have you as my guest. Tomorrow I will share with you what took place in Lanka during the captivity. I will tell you about Mata's great sacrifice. My mother and I took our evening meal by ourselves that night, as the head of the ashram had left for a meditation retreat. I was glad for the time to be alone and quiet. My mother also didn't feel like speaking much. We ate our sparse meal and went to bed. I had slept very soundly that night before, but this night I couldn't sleep. As Soma had narrated her tale, the scenes had drifted across my mind, making me feel as if I had been there myself. Devi, Sita, Sri Ram, and Lakshman had come alive for me, and now I felt as if I knew them personally, as if whatever they had gone through, I had also experienced. The terror of being grabbed by Ravana had entered me and shaken me to the core. I could not free myself from the feeling. I waited impatiently for the dawn to come, tossing and turning, at times pretending to sleep. At the first race, I was up and ready to go. My mother saw my state and realized I hadn't slept, and so agreed to go to Soma without taking the morning meal. Prepare yourself, Anasuya. I'm sure what Soma will narrate today will disturb us greatly. None of us have heard what took place in Lanka, only that our Maharani was tortured and that Sri Ram and his army rescued her. That is all we know. I'm sure there is much more to tell, and Soma will relay it. I quietly replied, I don't think my fear of marriage was the real reason that we came here, because I have wanted to tell you that I will agree to whatever marriage you and Pitaji decide for me. There is something else that drew us here, Ma, and I don't know what it is. My mother took my hands in hers and smiled. Perhaps it was to help you re-establish your connection with Maharani Sita. You loved her from the moment you were born, but you never knew her. Now through Soma, you are coming to know her again. That's it for today, friends. Wow, a very interesting story. Yep. And tomorrow we will get to know about what what did Sita sacrificed. Friends, if anybody wish to share anything, please unmute yourself and you can share. Yeah, I know, Meena, it's a bit emotional. Yeah, what must have gone through Sita's mind, Sita's, heart and everything. Wow. And yes, in the next parts are very interesting because we all knew that Ravana had kidnapped Mata Sita, but here we get to know also about without her consent, it wouldn't have been possible. So it was her choice to enter Ravana's mind and Ravana's kingdom. So yeah, and yeah, we will get to know about the sacrifice tomorrow.
Beautiful, Madhu. Thank you. I joined a bit late, but thoroughly could feel all the energies. Beautiful. And I'm really
Thank
amazed how people, they changed the story. That Sita Mata was the one who was seeking to,
mm,
get the golden deer,
mm,
wherein she never had any such expectations, and it was
yes,
Ram who actually gave it to
yes,
her. How
exactly.
amazing, right? Yeah.
Yes,
And how beautifully Miss Tina Mariam had written, like every scene is before our eyes, including their
yeah,
emotions.
yeah,
That's the most beautiful part. It's not just as if we are watching a story. So
mm,
when she talks about Sitama, we can see her face and her emotions.
be-
When it is Gangama, we can see her emotions. When it is Chandrika, we can feel her emotions.
exactly,
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
exactly, Swapna. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to Dena Mariam. She had really given this book. I think the real Sitayan movie should come, because it has to be a very long movie wherein the truth should be put. Because
Exactly.
when I read this book, I completely resonated with it. I didn't feel like it's like a story. I know that it is the truth, because deep down
Absolutely.
we
Yeah,
know it.
absolutely.
We
Yeah,
know it because when we have seen Ramayana or something, like there, like why Sita is kidnapped, like why, like she's a goddess, no, she's a great
exactly.
master.
Yeah,
So why she? Because they don't know or what, they don't know what is coming in front of them. So they have a lot of intuitions. So why do
it
they
is
not
also
see it?
portrayed as if
Yes.
they came on Earth and they were in this Maya. How can they be in
Mm,
Maya? Such beings? No, they can't be.
right. Right.
So it's an eye opener. And yes, as you said, like when we were reading the book, I was so emotional at certain points,
Mm,
especially towards the end when Sita Ma was leaving.
mm.
Oh, so beautifully she wrote it, and I connected so much with Soma. Uh,
Mm,
Madhu, I was telling Miss Dana Mary, I'm also on Digital Swadhyay.
yeah.
I connected so much with her. I really admire Soma's qualities, actually.
Right. Exactly. How she is
I wish
connected
like
with
we have
Mata
that
Sita.
courage. Yeah, it's that surrender and that trust,
Mm,
and
mm,
how her courage. She had
mm.
emotions, but they were so much in balance.
Right. Right.
I mean, for me, she's my favorite in the story,
That.
actually.
Yeah. So
Of course, Sitama and Ram and Meenakshi too, but definitely
the
someone
character
like
of
who
Soma
inspired
is
me.
the
Very
character of
inspiring.
Soma is very balanced.
Exactly. Very
Very
inspiring.
balanced. I
Very,
think it's
very
very,
balanced.
this is what, no, like Sita Ma says that Soma is very close to Sita Ma. Like
Yeah.
they both are connected. That's why the energetically also. That's why Soma could feel Sita Ma. Though her physical presence is not there,
Yeah.
she could intuitively connect to Sita Ma, where she's going and what she's doing and everything.
Yes.
So yeah, I think one should become like Soma. One should.
I think they say that, right? We are everybody's like compassionate and they have empathy and everything. It's not just having those qualities, but having them in balance is very much needed.
Correct.
Like since childhood, like I've seen that I had all these kinds of like gratitude. I did not know the words obviously that time,
Mm,
but definitely it was not in balance. It was
mm,
overcome being over compassionate sometimes, being you know so I mean it was not in balance, but it's only after coming into meditation that we realize the right balance, like what is the right thing, where to
right.
stop. And
Yes.
beautiful, and I could see all that balance in every aspect in Soma, be it
Right.
compassion, be it courage, everything is in balance. Beautiful
Mm,
soul she is, actually.
yes. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Sapna. Yeah, thank
Sorry, I
you.
couldn't stop myself from
No,
talking.
no, it's
I
good.
just
It's
am
good.
so
It's good
connected.
to share, like it's very good to share. This is what I request everybody, like I want everybody to make some notes of this book, like there are so many points that we had
Yes,
also experienced in our life. So we can relate our story and we can inspire many people. So
absolutely.
these story of Mata Sita and Sri Ram and every character in this book which Dena Mariam had shared is about every human being, like we also go through a lot of situations like this. How
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
have dealt, how we can deal with it, how are we dealing with it, how we have dealt with it. So we can put it in words and we can share it, because it is very important to share. Because right from first day, I think Archana ji was mentioning about a father, and I was also mentioning about my father, that he was very
Mm.
strict at that time, but like Meenakshi's father. but
Yeah.
but later, when you know yourself, when you are calm down, when you connect to your soul, you will understand that why your father had behaved in such a way. So it's just that
Absolutely.
he's protecting you. It's not like
Mm.
he's trying to control you. There is no control. It's just that he's
Control.
protecting you. At that time,
Protecting.
you were not aware because you don't have the clarity. But now
Yes.
you are so much connected with yourself that you can able to see the clarity, that your father is had protected you. That's why he was like that at that time.
Yes,
So these things, clarity and all these things, like everybody have many many stories. So everybody should
absolutely.
come up and share their stories. It is very important, as you said,
So
Swapna.
yesterday when Ram was saying about experiences and talking and being open about your experiences, it was a beautiful discussion yesterday, and
Yes.
obviously it was like very long, so I couldn't add that. So
Mm,
initially, when I used to attend all these workshops and all, I
mm,
used to have so many questions, Madhu, and also so many experiences.
mm,
Experiences in terms of, I mean, the transformations that I've seen, they're all little transformations. And
mm,
I was like so curious, and I used to ask questions. And at one point, I felt in every session, I'm the first one to raise hand and ask
mm,
questions or share my experience. And at some point, I felt, am I overwhelming? Will people think exactly what Ram said? Will people
mm,
think that she's trying to just just say something or things like
mm,
that?
mm,
And then I stopped after some time. I became like, I mellowed down, and I didn't ask much, though, even though I had those questions.
mm,
You know how the message came to me? People
mm,
started pinging me,
mm,
and they started telling me that someone, like,
mm,
just how somehow got in touch with them. And
mm,
people started sharing, saying that, Swapna, we wait for your questions. Sometimes, they are in our mind, but we can't express. So
mm.
when you ask those questions, many times it answered mine
Yes,
too. And also,
exactly.
so then I realized that, okay, then what I was doing is not overwhelming, definitely, even if
Mm,
it helps one person. And to be honest, even I am also growing in the same way, listening to others
right,
experiences. Sometimes
right.
I don't know how to put a question, sometimes I don't know how to express. And when
Mm,
it comes through somebody else's mouth, from their mind, it really helps me. Oh, okay, this is what, like yesterday Archana was sharing that question with Ram. I had
mm,
exactly the same thing, same question. She put it so
yes,
beautifully, and I could really relate to it so well.
yes,
So then, from then onwards, I started being very open about whatever I feel and whatever experiences I have, and any questions I have. They could be the silliest, and
yes.
but still, I feel, I definitely need to ask.
Mm,
So
mm,
yeah, that's the beauty of it, Madhu. And this is such a beautiful platform created by Patriji and by
that's
PSSM
true.
for me. It's like a blessing for me to interact with all great souls. And as I said, I'm very lazy when it comes to book reading, but I
Mm,
hear a lot of wisdom sessions and all that.
mm,
And this untold story of Sita is one thing that kept me, like, it didn't let me get up and go. I mean, it was like that
yes,
kind of a book.
yes,
So I truly admire, and I could connect to the energies so well. And
yeah.
after reading that book, really, actually, Ram is very Lord Ram is very.
Sriram.
I really like him, yeah, Sriram. And I used to, but with Sita Ma, I formed a beautiful connection. These
Mm,
days, even when I read Hanuman Chalisa,
mm,
automatically I visualize myself, putting my head on her lap and
wow,
reciting it.
wow.
It's such a beautiful feeling, Madhu, and I feel she can really connect to our emotions.
Very true, very true.
So
Yeah,
it's like beautiful.
wow.
Thank you for
That's
reading this book, Madhu. Actually, I wanted to read it again, but I couldn't. And whenever possible, I'm joining and I'm listening to all the wisdom sharing of all other masters also in this group. It's
mm,
beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone.
yeah. Thank you, Swapna. Yes, I felt like it's been a long time. I was feeling that I should read a book, and I thought I like telling stories, and Sitayanam is like the untold story of the Sita is the book. I felt it has to be shared to everybody. I
Absolutely,
know
Madhu.
I know many people would like hearing than reading, so I thought maybe I should voice them out reading this
I
book.
actually want to do it too with my relatives and all who are
Mm,
just now. I'm trying to pull them into
mm,
meditation.
mm.
So if I get a chance, I would definitely do this, Madhu. This is a
Yes,
beautiful idea, actually.
that's true. That's true. And
And
and I loved your sharings, Swapna, because it is very important that we share. And I'm glad that you shared what you have felt, and never be shy of asking questions, as you told. No, like it might be helping somebody else. Your question
Yes,
might be helping somebody else. Like my mom was telling many times that she could not put questions, but questions of Archana's and many others helped her getting the answers. So sure, like it will be helping someone or the other. So
absolutely, Madhu. And you know what? Sometimes some questions, different masters have different perspectives. So I
exactly,
don't mind putting the
exactly.
same question to different people. Like
Hmm.
Saroja madam answers in a certain way, and
Right,
Chandra sir answers in a different way. And
right,
from everything, we have something very beautiful to take.
correct.
So I ask similar questions sometimes. Like yesterday, I was asking Ram about thoughts. Ram gave
Mm,
me a beautiful, different perspective of say cancel. I'm
mm.
trying to apply it, and it is working actually to a great extent. So
Yes,
yeah, so like that, like Saroja madam said something, and everybody is giving some tips. I would say like Adhyatmika chitkalu. I used to
it
say.
does. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
Right.
and I feel. I mean, thank you for giving this freedom to express in this group. It's amazing, actually.
It is
And
very, very important to express, Swapna. If we don't express, we will be not having growth. Like to have growth, you need to express. This is what I feel. So whatever comes, like if you feel any kind of emotion or any kind of the thing which is happening inside your minds and hearts, you have to keep it out, put it out. So,
absolutely.
so glad that everybody is sharing here, and the purpose
No,
is
it's
served.
a beautiful platform, Madhu. I mean, it's a close knit group kind of a thing, but at the same time, everybody can access this wisdom on
Mm,
YouTube. And
mm,
I've asked a couple of my friends to join, and they are
mm.
loving the meditation. And
Yeah.
it's amazing, like whatever work you are doing, it's definitely an inspiration for people like us, Madhu.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you, Swapna. Yeah. Anybody else, friends? Yeah. So, all right then. So we will see again, other again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. India time and 6 a.m. Germany time by Master Sunanda from India. They will be guiding us into meditation and evening at this hour. And friends, this coming Saturday, we will be having this wonderful master from India. His name is Akash Pople. He will be speaking about the teachings of ascended masters. It will be happening at 10 a.m. Germany time, which will be like 1:30 p.m. India time. So please do join the session and it will be amazing. So to know what the Ascended Masters want to teach us. So please do join it and please do share it to your friends. It will be on the same Zoom link. I'll be creating the flyer soon. And yeah, please do join. And see you again tomorrow evening. All right. Till then, have a lovely day, a lovely evening, and a lovely night. Namaste to all.